Spray gel could cover ATM thieves with evidence for 5 years. This is what crooks could look like next time they try and decide to swipe money from ATMs in England. The Co-op, a British supermarket, has outfitted ATMs in 2,500 stores with a traceable spray gel to deter would-be criminals. When someone tries to break into an ATM, their clothes and face are sprayed with the gel. Each sprayer has its own forensic identifier, and only a speck of this is needed from the suspect to match it to the ATM. The gel is visible under an ultraviolet black light. Developer company Smart Water say the gel can be traced up to 5 years after being sprayed. The technology reportedly reduced ATM theft by up to 90% in test areas in 2016. Don't let YouTube ad bots dictate what TomoNews reports. Support us at patreon.com/TomoNews. Check out 5 more reasons why you shouldn't mess with ATMs or banks. Man trapped in ATM gets withdrawn by cops. A Texas contractor found himself held captive by a cash machine and had to go old school to get out. The worker was changing the locks for the ATM vestibule when he was locked in because he left his swipe card in the truck. Poor fella also left his phone, so he couldn't call for help. But the ATM was working just fine, and what he did have was a pen and paper. He resorted to slipping notes through the receipt slot, begging people to please help. I'm stuck in here and I don't have my phone. Please call my boss. Unfortunately for him, everyone who got the note thought it was a bizarre joke, and the poor man was stuck for 2 hours until someone took it seriously enough to call the cops. Even the cops didn't think it was for real, even after they heard a little voice coming from the machine. Still, they eventually came to the man's rescue, kicking down the door to finally get him out. Now there's a man who's never been so happy to get away from a cash machine. Crazy!
Mugging victim runs over robber at ATM and gets his money back. A man who was mugged at gunpoint in Philadelphia late Monday got some vehicular revenge on his assailant. The Portuguese immigrant was with his family and getting cash from a drive-through ATM when the robber approached his vehicle. Police say the robber held the driver and his family at gunpoint before grabbing the cash and making a run for it. Now, in most cases, that'd be the end of the story, but nope, not here. The victim drove off following the robbery, but went back to look for his debit card. When he returned to the scene of the crime, he spotted the robber and sped toward him. As the victim rammed him with his car, the thief stabbed a knife through the windshield, got his card and cash from the very wounded robber, and then went home. Police say surveillance footage confirms the driver's version of events and he won't face charges. His attacker, meanwhile, suffered some nasty head injuries and will be in hospital for at least a week. He'll face robbery charges when he gets out. ATM Raider escapes Bali court through toilet window. A Peruvian citizen facing multiple charges over a string of ATM robberies on the holiday island of Bali evaded the law on May 16th in a way worthy of an Adam Sandler film by escaping through the courtroom's bathroom window. Jose William Salazar Ortiz and friends Roberto Castro de la Cuba and Franco Pizarro stand accused of stealing thousands of dollars from several ATMs on the Indonesian island. Bali media reports the trio were arrested in January, but their trial just began last Tuesday. After arriving at court, Ortiz asked to go to the bathroom before proceedings began. Once inside, he apparently quickly found his escape route, a small window above the toilet. He made a break for it. Police believe he probably hailed a taxi outside the courthouse and disappeared into the crowded streets of Denpasar. Meanwhile, guards eventually became suspicious and went looking for him, but Ortiz was long gone. The act of incompetence didn't go down well with prosecutors. Police scrambled to try and clean up the mess by filling bus stations, ports, and the Denpasar airport with intercom announcements and wanted posters. And it nearly worked. Ortiz was spotted at Ubin Terman, apparently en route to Jakarta, but by the time police arrived, Ortiz had slipped them again. His whereabouts are still unknown.
Hey Tomo Sapiens! Help us beat the ad bots by joining our Patreon news squad at patreon.com/TomoNews. Brazilian robbers wrap themselves in tinfoil to avoid alarm system. Remember that awesome Rio de Janeiro heist and chase sequence from Fast 5? Well, this attempted robbery is absolutely nothing like that. Rather than going all Ethan Hunt and pulling Mission Impossible Cirque du Soleil, these 2 Brazilian bank robbers this weekend wrapped themselves in tinfoil in a bid to avoid alarm sensors. Surprisingly, the kooky plan worked. But the spacey duo were still picked up on CCTV. And seeing this, security at Banco do Brasil in Praia Grande called the cops. However, the would-be tinfoil burglars escaped in a white sports car and are reportedly still on the run. Although the cops did make an arrest and are questioning a third suspect believed to be the duo's lookout who was hiding in the bushes nearby. So it looks like this case can't be wrapped up just yet. Robbery! Live streamed on Facebook, of course. You'd think the bizarre string of events that unfolded in Miami on Tuesday was from a movie, but nope, it's all real. The drama began when a bomb-carrying man in a suit took his Uber driver hostage. He then robbed a bank with the driver in tow, calmly threatening the teller with the explosive. His hostage streamed the scene on Facebook Live, asking for help as the perp went on a rant about Russian hacking and World War III. 2 more live streams were taken in the car, with the man continuing his long-winded rant against the government. He is seen showing off his loot before the driver finally describes the bomb to the camera. The pair eventually end up at Miami Beach, where the robber makes like Robin Hood and starts giving the cash to random passers-by. To cap off his day of misadventure, he then calls the cops and gets both him and the driver taken into custody. Sections of the road had to be closed off and a bomb squad was sent in to secure the area. The robber is now with the feds and facing charges, but the Uber driver was eventually let go. Phew, what a day!